Speaking of comebacks, Eddie Murphy is back in movies. Have you seen the trailer for his new movie?
Let me guess. Pluto Nash, The Adventures of Pluto Nash Part 2.
No, man, that movie
with his co-star Jay Moore
was a fucking stinker. He's back, direct to Netflix, Eddie Murphy movie.
Oh no, they're not letting him remake. No, you leave Rudy Ray Moore alone.
Well, he's not even he's not even remaking a Dolemite movie. He's playing. He's a autobiography
of Rudy Ray.
Moore.
Oh wait, this might be good. Okay,
you want to watch the trailer? It's a short trailer. It's worth watching.
Okay, let me reserve judgment.
Okay.
It's showtime, y'all. You love him and I love him. Put your hands together.
Now, what I said earlier already is I'm happy because I'm a big fan of Craig Robinson. Not so much Mike Epps.
You love him and I love him.
Craig Robinson's hilarious.
Put your hands together.
Dolemite is my name. Hey, you know, Auntie, I was thinking about putting out a comedy record.
Comedy? You been a singer, a shake dancer?
It's real hard to break in. I do whatever it takes to get in. I come up with a new character. Dolemite is my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
What'd you do to your hair? You look like a pimp.
It's all pretend. I just created a character.
Dolemite, you a trip.
Pull on that.
Oh, that's a wig.
That's right. Whatever it takes, I'm ready to do it. I got to be totally outrageous.
It's filthy. You've got a product here that you can't sell or promote.
All my life, people been telling me no. Rudy,
Sometimes our dreams just don't come true.
God, is Snoop Dogg looking rough?
man slam a door in my face. I just find another door. I want the world to know I exist.
You can write. This ain't funny. And it ain't no brothers in it either.
Then they would have been immediately kicked out of that movie theater for disturbing the white people if this was real. Get out of here.
In a Dolemite film? I don't think.
No, that wasn't a Dolemite film. This is them watching a white comedy film and saying this isn't funny.
I was going to say, there's no way you would have
Look at the audience. Does that look like a Dolemite audience to you?
If I get up in that light with my own movie, I could be everywhere all at once. Let's bring Dolemite to the screen.
The actors we hire, you're a bit doughier than them.
Doughier?
Hey, that's Durban Martin.
I'm offering you a role in my new motion picture. You think you could...
Can I say Wesley Snipes is looking all right? He's aging. That's Wesley Snipes. Yeah. He's aging all right.
Just walk up here and hire me? No. What if we let you direct?
In storytelling, it's always best to write what you know.
Ain't nothing to talk about in my personal life. I deal with the nightlife, club owners and mobsters and lots of pimps and kung fu.
Do you know karate?
No, but I'm a fast learner. I can learn how to chop me a motherfucker.
Action.
Dolemite, give it to me.
Put your weight on it.
Pretending like he could be a sex machine. What planet is this cat on?
Damn! This thing flops, you're gonna be working for free for the rest of your life.
I'm so grateful for what you did for me. Cause I never seen nobody that looks like me. Oh yeah! Up there on that big screen.
That's not. First off, you're adding that to make it look like he was fat empowerment.
He was never like
he
that.
just needed a fat black bitch for that movie. That's what it was. You've seen some of the Dolemites movies,
course.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He just needed a fat black bitch. It wasn't like he was like empowering them. Stop trying to change history.
This isn't going to be good. I can already tell.
God damn, Dolemite.
Great God in heaven, you know.
Now it's time to shit on this thing. All right, so Rudy Ray Moore was instrumental in blaxploitation film. One of my mentors when I was a teenager. I'm not going to say who he is because he doesn't necessarily want to be known as my mentor anymore. But we're still very good friends. It's not like a
right.
I've taken it upon myself to, isolate myself from him because I feel bad. But
Rich Little.
Yes, it was Rich, the great Rich Little. He said, I think it goes a little something like this. It's like Johnny Carson or something. That's some weird, wild stuff. But this person, this is a guy that got me into radio when I was like 13. This is a person who got me into comedy and producing shows. Like, this dude was instrumental in keeping me from just being a guy who sold pot. He was upset. He was weird. He's a white guy. He got me into heavy metal music from the 80s. It was a weird combo. And blaxploitation. He loved blaxploitation films.
Was it Quentin Tarantino?
You would think.
That sounds like something
But
Quentin Tarantino would be
this guy was like Quentin Tarantino before all of his quirks were known.
Right,
So it's not like he wasn't like imitating Tarantino. He was just a weird dude. He got me into Dolemite back in the day. So I never got as into it as he did, but I always appreciated the art form. So if I say this sucks, it's not like this sucks because it's going to be all the black. Like, no, I would love to see Rudy Ray Moore get a cool biopic starring Eddie Murphy. Like, that all sounds awesome. The problem is this is going to be like, this is going to be just like that horrible Motley Crue one they made with Machine Gun Kelly. It's going to be just like the NWA one. It's going to be this cheesy reimagining through the lens of 2019. It's going to be garbage. It's going to suck.
You know, it's something to
He deserves better than this.
Something to that. For me, the same. Again, I think it looks terrible, but for me, it's different. It's not because I was a huge fan of the Dolemite films. I've seen them, but I was always a big, like as a kid, like I said, the first rated R movie I ever saw was Eddie Murphy's Raw. I was 5 or 6 years old, right? And I like Eddie. I've always liked Eddie Murphy. His new stuff is terrible, obviously, but Eddie Murphy in the 80s, that dude was a fucking legend. He was. Like, 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cops.
90s, too, where he
exactly.
kind of owned the 90s, too.
As well. Coming to America, like Eddie.
Bowfinger. Traffic was a good
If
one.
you say Norbert, I'll fucking jump over this table and kill you.
Pluto Nash.
Fucking stop. But my point is, something happened at some point where he just stopped making great movies. And a lot of people say it was a cash grab. A lot of people say he was just taking whatever scripts because he needed more money. Apparently, he's a man of many, needs. That's the best way to say it without saying tranny prostitutes.
He's a man who may live beyond his means.
Right. He's somebody who not only partied with Rick James, but was very similar to Rick James. Not so much anymore from what I've heard, but he made Haunted Mansion. Remember that garbage? But I love Eddie Murphy.
I'm sorry, it wasn't Traffic. It was Metro.
Metro
was the movie.
Was that the one with...
he's a cop?
With
it was a movie cop that had to follow him? I think it was Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro.
That was when they both started making shit
Yes.
movies because they were like, cha-ching.
So I've always liked Eddie Murphy, and I would have loved nothing more. I would love nothing more than like a comeback story, like, hey man, he can't, like the way fucking what Tarantino did with Travolta when Travolta just came back in Pulp Fiction and he was like a star again because of it. And by the way, that has his ups and downs because he was great in Pulp Fiction, but even when he became a star, he still was making some fucking clunkers afterwards. Battlefield Earth, but I would have loved to see him come back. And by the way, I like a lot of people in this movie. I'm a big fan of...
I actually like the whole cast.
It's a good cast. I like Wesley Snipes. I think Wesley Snipes is great. Which one is it? Key or Peele? I always confused.
That's Key.
That's Key. Sorry. I'm not because I'm racist. But also that. But Key, I like him. I think he's a really funny dude. Pretty much the whole cast. Titus from Kimmy Schmidt's in it. He's a funny guy. They have a good cast. But the problem with it is number one, they're not making this to be a cool movie about somebody. They're turning this into like a Tyler Perry movie, if that makes sense, where, look, people are going to love this movie, okay? A certain socioeconomic group are going to watch this movie and they're going to fucking love it. They're going to say it's awesome. A black Twitter's going to have a bunch of memes from this movie. I'm already predicting it.
It'll be the number 2 movie of all time on Rotten Tomatoes, right under Black Panther.
Exactly. It's going to be, but it feels like a... Don't give me based on a true story. What you're doing is you're taking the guy's name and adding stupid things in there and these wacky gags that probably never actually happened.
Rudy Ray Moore liked cocaine and bitches with ass, and like he wasn't an SJW. He wasn't one of you. Let's just get that straight, okay? He was a 70s degenerate club act, lounge act that got some luck and worked hard and got into movies and stuff. But let's not pretend that he was a champion for causes. He was a comedian who made movies like that. It's the same way with like Richard Pryor didn't really get woke until the end, and even when he got woke, he didn't really get woke. He just really, if anything, I mean, I hate to piss off the SJWs, but towards the end, it looked like Pryor was embracing identitarianism.
Yeah,
because he was like, and he wasn't doing it like, man, fuck Whitey, because fuck Whitey was the early.
No,
stuff.
but he was getting Malcolm
X.
X.
It was more like, wow, yeah, we are we could have an identity and really be something here. And then he fucking got all sick and fucked up. But like he wasn't woke. Rudy Ray Moore was not woke.
No.
He was like, you got to understand these old black like party acts from the 70s. Like, bro, there's a reason why, like the 70s, before like NWA and before a certain fellow white person named Jerry Heller helped to shape black culture throughout the 90s. Black culture was a little more fucking style and partying and drinking malt liquor on the street corner and like fucking broads and like
Isaac Hayes before Scientology. There's another one because he was another OG one. You're right. They had their own films, right? They had their own thing. And it was cool. It was cool. Even people go, oh man, watch some of that stuff. Back then, that shit. You watch a Dolemite movie or a Shaft movie, like that's fucking cool. That's really cool. They had and then of course, like you said, and I love the NWA thing is perfect. Have you seen the Straight Outta Compton movie?
I saw parts. I couldn't get.
There's
through
only
it was such bullshit.
I know, but there's a reason I bring it up. They make the Jewish record producer look like
the hero.
Not a hero, a superhero. Yeah. Where the cops were bothering them, and he walked outside, and he's like, "Hey, you leave these black guys alone."
Yeah.
And I was like,
meanwhile,
what?
You know what really happened? You want to know the real story? You want to know the real story? So NWA was doing their thing, and even NWA had a couple of songs that were kind of positive and uplifting.
Yes.
And then they met Jerry Heller, and Jerry Heller was like, "Hey guys, we're gonna make a lot of money." And then they started pushing degeneracy and drive-by shootings and murder and crack and just awful shit. And they'll tell you that, no, man, we were just telling the tales of the street. No, you were glorifying the shit and creating a cycle and making it worse. Then, when that wasn't good enough, when Jerry Heller was only making millions of dollars conning these young, dumb black guys out of their money, he decided to divide and conquer them. Which, hey, weird, right? Weird that a Jewish record producer would play divide and conquer with a bunch of young black guys and use money as bait. And then he got them all to hate each other.
Yep.
They literally had to reconcile on deathbeds, which I don't even believe really happened.
Or after deathbeds with Eazy-E's case. Dre didn't even forgive him until after he died.
So, and then he did his little divide and conquer, and then he broke up NWA, and then they all went on to be powerhouses and spread to and he got a piece of all of it. And there was a great article I read. Fuck, man, I've never been able to find it since, but it was an article about when the NWA movie came out, and it was written by a black guy, and he basically was like, why are we celebrating NWA again? And the whole article was about how black artistry in the 80s and 90s and hip-hop music, like you listen to the old hip-hop songs, there was a little reference to drugs and poverty and shit going on, but it was never framed in a way where they made it artful or they tried to glamorize it. It was always done in a way where it was like, hey, we're stuck here in this shitty fucking concrete jungle, but we're still, you know what? When the sun goes down, it's cool at night. We're going to go out on the street corner. We're going to drink. We're going to fucking play our records. We're going to... Like, there was so much positivity to it. And then Jerry Heller came along. And oh boy, did old Jerry Heller do a whole hell of a lot of damage.
Yeah, and it's... And like you're right, he profited out of all of them. He made them all beef with each other, which made no Vaseline, for example. They all went on to go basically start... The big gangster rap movement was all of them. The reason the East Coast, West Coast stuff, that was all this guy. It really was. It was all this guy. And again, it feels like looking back on it. I guess while it was happening, it was hard to notice. But looking back on it, it did feel methodical. It feels like if you look at it, just step back for a second and take your prejudices away and just look at it. It felt like just he was moving chess pieces around and going, okay, all these little fights, like you said, you read into it, he was whispering in their ears. It wasn't like, one day, it wasn't like Dre was like, fuck you, Eazy-E. There was a lot of, he thinks he's better than you. He thinks he's a better rapper than you.
Let me tell you something. You're the one in here every day, right? They're out there. They're
Making
smoking
the
their
beats.
blunts. They're going to these strip clubs. You're here all night working. Ice Cube thinks he's the star. He thinks he's the star. You're the star. And then they're just going to Ice Cube and being like, what? He thinks just because he makes some beats that he's... I mean, we could hire producers. What is the nerve of him?
Anyway, he's taking beats from other people anyway. It's not even his.
He's an easier going like, what do you need condoms for? You know, what is that? That's ridiculous. Yeah, it was all so fucking methodical. And, you know, they ushered in a whole new era of, and now, you know, even the mumble rap now, it's been one slide downward into just, forget it, man. It's done. It's over. So when you guys want to get mad at the white man, when you want to get so mad at white dudes, get mad at that white dude. Be mad at him. Be mad at him. And that's the thing about these guys. See, they've created this love of money.
Good song.
Bone Thugs. That money, man.
2 days in a row, Bone Thugs references.
By the way, a song that this idiot on the left ruined. For the Love of Money is a great song, and then they let that idiot get a verse because it's easy. You tell him no. He's funding the studio time. And then he just ruins the song. He's horrible on that song.
Eazy-E was never a really good rapper, to be honest with you.
He was terrible. The only one that was good was Boys in the Hood, and Ice Cube wrote that. So enough. But, yeah, it's just this whole thing, man. Blame Jerry Heller. Blame people like Jerry Heller because they worship money, and then like they created a whole culture that was like money, stack money, and then these dudes on the right, well, you know, they tend to have a lot of money, and then now they've kind of masqueraded, right? Jews masquerade as like these, you know, especially like the predatory record label types, they masquerade as being hip and cool, and we're putting money in their pocket. They're ripping. Jewish record producers have been ripping black people off since the 1930s. Okay, and it literally the Sopranos did a whole storyline about it with Hesh. Remember when the guy was the rapper was like, "Yo, you stole my great grandfather's like blues song or whatever." This is what they did back in the day. They were like, oh, yeah, well, make me a co-producer and a co-writer, and I'll put you up in this beautiful hotel. And you're like, you know, when you're a poor black dude from South Central Compton and shit, you're like, for real? I could stay at the Chateau Marmont for an entire week. And you're like, hell yeah. Like, you don't know, you know what I mean? You're like, you go from living in public housing to like, would you like $10,000 cash? And you're like, fuck yeah, I want $10,000 cash. Just sign these papers in triple copies. Thank you.
Let me see something. You know, that's
and then you see like watch. I guarantee you, Jerry Heller is a co-producer and co-writer on some of these songs. I'll put my fucking, like John McAfee says, I'll eat my dick if he's not.
God, please. I'm trying to see here. Let me see something because you brought up a.
Just picturing Royce's whole thing too. He's right. He thinks he's better than you. Just like,
seriously.
That was like most of the 90s.
It was.
Can you believe this guy? He says he's going to sign with Tommy Boy Records. Good luck.
Apparently, the producer of the Dolemite movie is a dude named Craig Brewer.
Any relation to Jim?
No, it's spelled differently. It's spelled like brewing beer. And the director and producers Craig Brewer. Writers is Scott Alexander and Larry Kozwitzki. So, literally, in this Dolemite movie, literally every person who wrote it and produced it, even though it's a black cast, none of them are black. None of them.
Why would they be?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't think it's going to be good. And again, I want Eddie Murphy to make a comeback. I really would like that. I think the guy was great, but I think direct to Netflix too. Also, mean they probably paid Eddie Murphy a lot up front. They probably paid him all a lot up front because when you do the Netflix stuff, you don't get any back end shit.
There's no back end.
It's just yeah.